Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Gaming Podcast, episode 3. My name is Marcel MD14. I'm joined, by a little smaller group this time. We got rid of everyone else. They're off in space playing Starfield. I don't know where they are. We lost them. But we'll hopefully next episode we can find them, something like that. But Sammy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you. Yeah, excited about this week. There are some interesting leaks that we're gonna get to, and yeah, looking forward to it.
And Steve, how are you? The only Steve. It's about time. The Battle of Steve. You won. You won.
I did. It was only a matter of time. I knew it. This is kind of like a battle royale. It's like we're playing Call of Duty Warzone. The gas is slowly getting everyone. Eventually, it'll just be, two of us here. Who's going to take it?
Yep, that's right. Just don't say you beat blind gamer Steve. Okay, just use his legal name because it won't. I don't think it'll be good for PR and everything.
No, God, no.
Riley, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah, it's been a fun week with the Starfield launch and everything like that.
You officially launched your Walmart into space. How did that go?
I did. I finally did it. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It took way too long, but I finally did it. And then I had to poorly add the logo on top of the video, which was really funny to me.
I got a great chuckle out of it.
I can tell you right now, there's a certain man, a friend of the show, Aaron Greenberg. He really, really liked it a lot. So I could pass that officially to you. So that's why I just flew it on there, just to get feedback about your Walmart store. I had no other reason of seeing him. So,
Thank you. Yeah, I saw Phil Spencer liked Aaron Greenberg's post about it.
There you go.
So Phil Spencer has seen Walmart in space at this point, which is a nice pat on the back for myself, honestly.
It's about time you guys made it up. You guys are everywhere here. It's about time you go, in the atmosphere, So
yeah, it's about time you put great deals in space,
roll back into space,
roll back.
Yeah, we finally made it. We've done it.
Yeah. Well, speaking about Starfield, guess what? I played 0 hours of it. It's been burning in my pocket, but I want to hear all of you about it. Sell me on this game. Who wants to go talk about it first? Starfield.
I'd love to jump in. Just to kind of put some things into context. Like I really enjoy Bethesda games, going all the way back to Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout. Fallout 4 was kind of like the first time where I was like, "Ooh, you guys didn't hit like the highs that I usually expect from this." So coming into Starfield, I was like, "This game almost feels too large to miss." Like it almost seems like Bethesda would have to go out of its way to like screw this up, and surprisingly, they didn't.
Everyone just got out of the way.
I am enamored by this game. I was just checking my Xbox app right before we logged on, and I think I'm at like 32 hours in, and despite I do have like some criticisms, there are some like rough edges to the game, and I think everyone by and large kind of knows about them by now. If you're just kind of like looking at the reviews and stuff like that, I think the solid 8s or 8.5s is definitely where I would kind of put this, because for everything that I think lacks in this game, they excel so much more in terms of like everything you would expect from a Bethesda game, whether or not it's storytelling, the exploration's great. Something that I wasn't really expecting was how good the combat feels. This is the first time where I was like, oh, this is actually fun to engage with enemies versus, smacking them with a sword in Skyrim, or just kind of using a crutch, which was the VAT system in Fallout. This one actually feels like, hey, I'm playing a competent first-person shooter. Sure, it's not Destiny or Call of Duty or Halo, but it feels really good, and I'm actually engaged with the combat and gameplay. But I think, everything that Bethesda is really known for in terms of building lore, building a universe to kind of explore, this Starfield does it for me. I'm 100% engaged in this, even down to some of the side stories in this game feel like they should be part of the main narrative, so much so that I get like 2 hours into a side quest, I'm like, oh yeah, I just completely forgot that this is just in no way part of my main, like if I'm trying to roll credits on this is in no part a part of this. Even like some of the smaller stuff, and I know like we're all going to get into it with our own like individual thoughts, but yeah, even going down to like a minute scale, like there's so much attention to detail and clear passion for this game that I feel like it's very exciting to see a team come together, build something brand new, and kind of for me, being the player, jump into it and kind of learn as I go, whether it's the backstory of this universe, the characters, what I'm even supposed to like prioritize in terms of like picking up and kind of going through and searching. You know, all Bethesda games have the lockers or, you know, the chests that you go through and kind of determine, oh, do I want to pick up these books or not? I think there's always something like genuinely exciting about going into like an open sandbox, being a Bethesda game, and be like, I have no idea what I'm even supposed to be doing here, but I'm learning along the way. And I'm constantly thinking about this game. And even now when we're talking about it, I'm getting excited just to go back to it. So yeah, I'm having a really good time with this game.
Yeah, I was gonna jump in very quickly. I was just gonna say I definitely agree, because like everyone who's been talking about it gets me more excited for the game. Like I had the key as soon as I landed on the trip and everything. And like more and more people kept on talking about it. More and more I'm like, oh man, I should have just brought my Xbox with me and everything. People were talking about like with the certain missions, there was like a Batman-esque mission or something like that, or there's a or the fact that like, hey, if you leave an item here, you go like to the other end of the solar system, and like you will think that like those items that you stored like in a bathroom will be like long gone or something like that, and they're like, you just come right back to the same bathroom stall, I guess. You're like, oh my god, those items that I left like 3 or 4 missions ago are still there and everything. Like just find details like that and everything like that it's pretty outstanding, and the fact that you can just get lost in this world and certain things might end up leading you to another mission. Like I think it depends on if you pick like a certain class, or like I think it's like a parental class or something like that, and then it can lead you to a whole another side mission, or if you want to rob someone or rob something, it can lead you to something like that. It's pretty unique. Go ahead, Riley.
I was just wondering how long it took the game to kind of like grab you guys, because it didn't get me initially.
No. For me, just quickly jumping in, the first night, I think I put in like 3 hours, and by the time I was like headed off to bed, I was like, this is fun. It's kind of what I expected. It wasn't until the second night that I hit maybe 6 hours in, and there's a specific like I guess like story beat that kind of happens where the game kind of says, okay, you're done with the tutorial, here you go. And that's kind of the moment where I was like, cool, I understand now that it's not just we're gonna hold your hand the entire way. It's more free form, and at that point, that's when I was like, okay, I'm in for this.
What
I think that's fair.
What criticism do you have with the game? I know some people said that even though like the NPCs in the background, they don't have too much details to them, or I think I saw someone's review where they were saying that it just seems everything seems to be safe. There's not too much personality to like a lot of the people in the I guess the NPCs in the background were like I guess where like if people were together, you wouldn't think they're together, just be sitting in a room together in their spacesuits, where like maybe they would have just been at home, a married couple or something like that. There's not too much fine details. So of course details that doesn't matter to the game as much, but like it's something that it just puts you in that world, and it kind of takes you out of it when you see stuff like that.
Yeah, I can definitely see that being a fair criticism. I don't really that kind of stuff doesn't really bother me, because I am so enamored by the world itself. Like I'll go through a building and I'm like, there's like entire sections of this place on this planet that doesn't really need to even exist, but the fact that it does just impresses me. The scale of just some of the buildings or some of these planets is just very impressive. For me, like some of the core criticisms is that the way that the game kind of makes you navigate it is all by its mission structure. So you tag a mission, it pings somewhere on your map, and you basically have to follow that. If say you want to go off that beaten path and say, okay, I have all this stuff on me, like guns and stuff that I want to sell, I want to go find a merchant. Good luck, because you can't ping something yourself. The map system is just really archaic, in my opinion. I think it's actually a step back from a lot of Bethesda games where you could just go, say the main hub, like New Atlantis. You can't open up the map there and see, okay, here's the doctor's place, here's the bar, here's the, like, it just doesn't exist. And I understand kind of why that is, because the game just isn't that free form, explore a planet, do what, it's not No Man's Sky in that way. It is more, we're giving you a mission, you go complete the mission. So there really isn't a need for a ping system, other than the fact that maybe you want to find a merchant or a storefront. Yeah, that's my biggest one. And then the other one is kind of the flight combat, or just the flight in general, like going from like one planet to another. It's just
Isn't
the
it
game offers
just loading time or something like that, or
it's like essentially you could leave a planet, get into space, and then kind of like traverse an area. But the game offers so many different ways of like fast traveling that you don't really even need to do that at all. And the times that you end up in like, say, a dogfight, like in space, it kind of feels like a second thought. It doesn't feel like an actual core component of the game. Like sometimes, sure, you'll find some bandits, some space pirates that you can fight and stuff. You can, go over, destroy their ship, or take it over and claim that ship as yours. But so much of it just kind of feels very simple in design as compared to the rest of the game that I'm kind of like, okay, I guess I guess when it happens, I'll engage with it, but I'm not going out of my way to, because it's so far in the back of my mind that it's just not part of like my gameplay loop anyways.
Yeah. I think my biggest problem is like the flow of it. Like, and you kind of alluded to it there, Steve, is like, you'll be in an area like at your clubhouse and you'll go to exit and it's like load time. And then you'll be like, oh, you have to go to this other section of the city. So, okay, I'll hop on a train and load time. And then, oh, you have to go back over there and get on your ship. It's like load time, onto the ship, load time. Have to jump over here, load time. So it's like the flow isn't really like there. And I feel like the world is really immersive in the areas where you exist at the time. But then it's just kind of like cut into, because it's not like it's not like a Cyberpunk or a Grand Theft Auto where the world is the world and you get to like explore it a bit. And I get there's more details than that and the physics of the items and different things that kind of play into that, but it makes it a little distracting.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree with that.
I noticed that just like the UI in general is just missing some of like the quality of life aspects. And I'm like, it shouldn't take this long to like equip a weapon, do this, do that. But I am only around 5 hours in. Okay. So I think I'm just getting to the point where like, all right, this is capturing my attention. Let's go. I didn't watch any reviews beforehand. And for me, when I first started it was giving me the feeling that Destiny gave me, like when I first launched the game, opened it up, and went in, and I was like, oh, this is really exciting. And then for whatever reason, I don't know, I think the hype was just too real and it was almost impossible to live up to that hype, so that kind of tainted me. And then also, 30 seconds in, you talk to Heller, and I'm just like, oh, that's just Damien Haas from Smosh, and I 100% placed that voice right away, which kind of ruined the immersion, but it was a fun fact that he's in the game too, because I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to that point, the Elias who plays Adam Jensen in is Sam Coe. So anytime he pops in, I'm like, oh man, this is just bringing me back. So I totally feel that. I do feel like a lot of the UI specifically, it takes so much time to kind of get used to, because to your point, it does almost feel like Destiny, where you go in and the game's like, here's the game, enjoy. And you're like, well, what does all this mean? Like, what am I supposed to be paying attention to? And I kind of like the fact that it just leaves you to your own devices to kind of figure stuff out. Even 30 hours in, I'm still learning new things as I go, which is exciting to me. I kind of like that. But I do feel like a lot of the things like going into a menu and swapping out a weapon or just simple quality of life things should be a little easier, in my opinion.
How were you playing this on PC or on console?
Series X for me.
Series X, and
PC.
how was it?
Here.
How was it running for you guys? Out of just curiosity.
I think totally fine. Yeah. Like, I haven't had any crashes or glitches or anything. Like,
I had like one shaky enemy. And I was just like, you know what? It happens. I'm just like, the world is so expensive. That might just be him, to be honest. Just like sitting there. Yeah.
I had 2 crashes on one specific night, like within an hour of each other. I have no idea like what caused them or anything, but like hard crash all the way to the home screen. But I've seen other people say like hard crash to the point where their Xbox will restart and stuff. So I don't know. No. Although I did also boot it up on my Series S just because I wanted to compare load times.
Yeah.
pretty standard stuff. They're pretty close. I would have to bring up like a timer to kind of tell the difference between the two. So I'm pretty impressed by how optimized it is for the Series S specifically.
Yeah. And I guess, like, would you consider this to be like Bethesda's like best game that they brought out?
Ooh. I mean, Fallout has such a nostalgia factor, though. It's hard.
Yeah.
Skyrim is iconic. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's too soon to say.
But like Skyrim and Fallout were great after, like, over time. Like, was it like just amazing at the beginning you found as well? Like, when they were fresh in your mind? Yeah.
Like Fallout 3, the moment that you leave the vault for the first time was a religious experience for me that I like. No, I'm being totally honest. When I talk about like video game moments, it's always leaving the vault for the very first time.
That's when he converted over.
Yeah, exactly. and Skyrim has like similar stuff to that. I feel like I have to roll credits. I feel like I have to like ingest this whole game and then maybe spend like a year just kind of reflecting on it to kind of feel out how I'm doing with it. I will say though, 30 hours into this, I'm already having more fun with Starfield than I did Fallout 4. I know that for certain. But in terms of like Morrowind, Oblivion, Fallout 3, Skyrim, I'm not sure yet because I put all those games in such high regard for me that it's hard to say right off the hop whether or not Skyrim's or Starfield's going to have that same resonance.
Yeah.
What background did you go with, real quick, if you remember?
Space Scoundrel. And then in terms of the perks, I went with the Neon Street Rat, Doring Fan, and I don't remember the third one.
I have the parents.
Oh, you do? Yeah. How is that?
They actually show up.
Oh,
are they nice?
They're awesome. So like one of the Constellation members is like, "Oh, Riley, like your parent, like your dad stopped by and gave you a note, and it's like, hey son, feel free to stop by whenever, like no rush though." And I was like, and then it added like a little side mission to go visit them in your family home.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so they're like in the game, and they make the parents look like your created character.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah. That is so cool.
It's really cool.
I do remember my third one is Empath, which if you're playing like me, someone who loves doing like the speech stuff, so with like perception and like cunningness and stuff like that, it goes a long way to like convince people to kind of like let you into areas or get them on your side kind of stuff. It's a great little perk. Definitely the best one I picked. The Adoring Fan one was just for shits and giggles. Like he showed up once. Honestly, it was kind of disappointing. He showed up once. I invited him on my ship, and within 30 minutes, I was like, "You got to go, man! Like you are too much for me right now."
Does he contribute at all?
I mean, he talks a lot.
But does he have like skills or anything?
He does. I don't think that they're very useful. The main thing is that like, if you don't have him on your ship, he'll just show up at random times when you're in New Atlantis and kind of just give you a gift and gas you up, which I guess is nice of him to, he really likes you and he'll give you like, I don't know, a box of chocolates or something, which is cool, I guess. But yeah, I kind of wish I went with something a little better, like maybe having parents.
Yeah, that seems pretty legit.
Don't you have to like give them allowance? Like
they get 2% of all your earnings.
That's what it was. Okay, yeah.
I will say, like, the customization is like real good. There's like 40 presets that you could choose from.
Oh.
So it's pretty dope.
Yeah, and you can change them at any time. You can go to like I can't remember what they're called, but there's like a vendor of sorts that you can kind of like change your face, change your hairstyles and stuff like that if you get bored, which is really cool.
And everything. You can do whatever you want.
Now, did everyone steal the souped up spacesuit in the beginnings for the crack in the display case?
So I got it later on, not at the very beginning, but it is the one I'm rocking right now.
Yeah, I like just went to the crack in the display case and took it right off the mannequin through the So just get that right away.
Good to know. Something to steal later.
All right. Well, I know what I'm doing tonight then. All right.
It's actually OP as hell, just to get right off the rep. Also, Marcel, you brought up the Mantis mission.
Yeah.
excellent mission.
I heard great things about that.
There's also another one that I completely found by accident. I had no idea, like it was not like a listed mission or anything. I believe it's called Juno's Gambit. And basically what happened was like I like used the grav speed or whatever to like jump into like a different solar system. And right when I arrived, there was like a ship in front of me. It was just called the mysterious ship. I ended up trying to hail it. It wouldn't respond. I docked on it, went inside, and there were these two like mercenaries there in front of like a large computer. And essentially, I'm not going to go into like spoilers or anything, but this seemingly like innocuous mission just turned into like a 5-minute escapade of just dealing with what is life and what is the value of life. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm having an existential crisis right now because of this mission. And like, this is like the mission for me that like left a lasting impact so far, where I was like, oh man, this is Bethesda on their game. Like this is what I love about Bethesda, where they're just able to craft such great stories out of like even small moments like that. Yeah, if you do have, I don't know how random it is or what you kind of have to do in order to trigger it, but if you come across something called the mysterious ship, just go towards it, because it's a really cool mission.
Yeah, cool. I was gonna ask you, like, what about this game made you, like make you wanting more, basically, like besides work and everything, but like if you didn't have to work and cover this game, like is there something you're like, is this game would have pulled you back in? You'd be like, oh yeah, I want to play this game because of XYZ.
And Riley?
Yeah, I mean, I had the opportunity I focused on the shipbuilding first because I had to, but outside of that, I think that what is really kind of grabbing me is like, it's the character interactions, right? It's the story in the background and all these different little elements that kind of intertwine and create the whole experience in the world. Like that to me is what I want to go back in, because I'm like, what am I missing? What else is going on here? Like, and learn more about the characters and stuff like that, because it is a really, really well crafted world and a great narrative, I think. So like it keeps changing, everything keeps changing, and it's like little things are really cool about it. And we're talking about missions that work. Like there was a space station that got compromised by like space pirates, and then like the whole gravity got like wonky, so like it's like shifting back and forth, and it's like these little elements that they just continuously like surprise you throughout the game, which is really cool, because there are so many cool, especially with the physics mechanics they have in the game, like really cool things that they do.
Yeah, and I'm just still at the beginning, so I'm just still excited about like what more is the game about to like jump me into.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I'm kind of just echoing Riley. I think it's the character interactions and the surprising moments. Like for someone who has a lot of like OCD with completing games and wanting to see it all and everything, it took me about a night where I was like, there's literally no feasible way for me to experience this entire game. And I think that's by design for a lot of it, just because I think a lot of it's procedurally generated, and just by virtue of the way that I'm playing is going to probably different to the way Riley's playing, or you guys are playing, and we'll all have different stories and different experiences with this game. And I think that's something beautiful that only select games can kind of obtain and kind of provide for players, which I think is great. But it is something that I had to kind of wrestle with at a certain point, where I was like, oh, all these activities that just keep popping up on my feed and everything. It's like, go talk to this person, go talk to this person. I was like, guys, I am on a mission right now. I've got artifacts to find. I've got, the Crimson Fleet on my ass. Like, I have so much going on right now. This is becoming a full-time job.
That's awesome. It's definitely a hard game to like review, because everyone's experience can be so vastly different, but it seems like everyone's like peak interest or curiosity of like, oh, if I could do this, what else could I do, type of thing. It seems like that everyone's keep on like echoing that, and like I'm excited. Like I've been hearing about the same thing that you guys have been saying, and just hearing about it more, I'm been like, all right, well, we're done with the show today. I'm gonna go play some Starfield. I'm really like eager to be playing this game right now, because you got like hearing about it all weekend long when people had early access, and then even up to today, I've been really excited to try this game out. So if you haven't tried it out, everyone, it's on Game Pass. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's another thing. This game's on Game Pass. That's another mind-blowing thing. So hopefully this might be the game that makes people forget that they have a Game Pass subscription. So So good on you, Microsoft, on that.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Also, one other thing, I mean, it just kind of slipped my mind that it would even be a possibility, but Samsung like sent out their press release today. They were like, "Oh, you don't have an Xbox? You can just stream it on our TV." I was like, "We are in a wild time in gaming where that is possible." I love video games, man.
That is, and video games is something else right now, you know, and speaking about video games, let's talk about some Switch 2 leaks if we can. So before we get into that, I did see that Nintendo is usually they do this a little bit later on, and they mentioned a new Switch is coming out. Guess what? They're bundling it with Mario Kart 8, the greatest selling game ever from Nintendo. Like it's gonna sell even more now for the holiday season coming up, and like they also brought out some new like I think a new theme for the light as well. Like and normally they'll bring this up probably like mid October and everything, but the fact that they're bringing this a little bit earlier is kind of people are tying it together with the Switch 2 leaks that are coming out, where the Switch 2 might be coming out sooner than we think. I always mention Switch 2 might be coming out like March of like the same early roughly the same day when the Switch came out 7 years ago, I believe. And apparently this one might be coming out with Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it looks like on part of PS5 and everything. I don't know if you guys heard these leaks and rumors, but I'd love to know what you guys think about all of this. And Riley, where's the Walmart link as well, by the way?
Well, actually, one of the Switch Lights is a Walmart exclusive.
Oh,
the Tommy and Timmy one.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, that's a cool one. But comes with the game, digital copy of the game. That report, though, I don't believe it.
You don't believe it at all?
I don't believe it. There are elements of it that aren't real. So I don't think some of it might be true, but I don't think it's real.
Yeah, because they mentioned it because of the camera and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but sorry, what?
Do you think like?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, well, I was just gonna say, do you think like people right now like have the dev kits of like the Switch 2 like in their hands? And, like,
if it's coming out next year, they have to, right?
They have to, right?
Yeah, they have to have it. So I mean, yeah, if everything's lining up with the Bloomberg reports, I would assume that that's accurate. Square Enix would probably be a prime partner for that, as would Sega, which was mentioned in the leak that you're referring to. But
yeah.
Yep.
I don't think the Square stuff is accurate.
That's the red flag for me as well.
Final Fantasy VII was a red flag.
Sony has that. Like that's their exclusive. They paid for it. And we know that because of the court documents in the Activision acquisition trial. So we know that they have it.
Wasn't that game come out to Xbox though?
No, it was going to after a year window, and then Sony was like, "No, we're just going to own it outright." Like not own it outright, but they have the rights. Like it's just going to be on that platform.
Yeah, I mean, there's no confirmation of like, oh, maybe by the time all three parts come out, they'll do something for Xbox or anything. But I find it very hard to believe that out of nowhere Switch would get it. As opposed to Xbox, I find that is like the biggest red flag.
Mind you, Sony did try to argue that Switch wasn't competition.
For sure.
But that's a big step. So I don't know. I mean, to be honest, the same sort of legal issues tied Persona 5 up for a long time. Prevented it from coming to consoles, and then eventually they were able to clear it somehow. I don't know what the term, like the window is for that term or anything like that. Like we just know that Sony seems to have secured that long term. So I don't think that that's accurate unless Sony is opening its doors to Nintendo in order to branch out. But even that is like, they've never really played nice.
Also, it's very weird to assume that the Switch 2 will have a camera of all things.
Yeah, that's so...
I know Nintendo is very weird, but that's an odd feature to have.
It could. I just don't... Yeah, like a camera to me wouldn't be a selling point for that. Especially when the report from like Bloomberg and everyone or whoever, or VGC, I believe, broke it. Right. Was that they're trying to cut down costs on the system by not using an OLED screen. Right. I don't know why they'd implement a camera.
Yeah.
And the other big thing is that if you were to implement a camera, you'd launch a Pokemon Snap, but they already blew that one. They've already released it. It's not like they're going to release another one for this. So at that point, like there is no other game in existence that justifies a camera. You had it.
Yeah, that was it. Right? I mean, like they could do some of the AR stuff, but like from the original like DSi, but like that's short-lived, and I just don't. I just don't see it being like a selling point for them at this point.
No.
I feel like they would do something unique, like a little more unique.
Do you believe that it will be as powerful as a PS5 though, or
no?
I believe.
It's like
I don't even know what this
levels.
Is
Like the current Switch right now, not the new one.
Yeah, I thought like the previous rumor, the previous like round of rumors was that they're targeting like an Xbox One, PlayStation 4 parity, which I totally believe.
Yeah.
Which is like I think the parity that was also mentioned in the Microsoft case or speculated on by Bobby Kotick.
Right.
Activision. So he referenced that. He's like, I think it'll be this, but I don't know. So I would assume
because he's assuming, or maybe not assuming, but alluding to the fact that that's what makes it possible to put Call of Duty on Switch 2 for the next 10 years is because if it's as powerful. Exactly. If it's as powerful to run on like an Xbox One, perhaps it can run on a Switch 2. So I think that makes total sense. If it's parity to Series X and PlayStation 5, there's no way that they can even justify low costs, even if they get rid of an OLED at that point.
Final Fantasy VII Remake, like it runs on PS4, it launched on that platform. So like the power disparity is not crazy, right? Like it is ported to PlayStation 5 off of that. So it's not like an insane ask to get that running on, I would assume what would be the next gen hardware, but I think for rights issues it just won't happen. Yeah. Just based on the ownership of that particular release.
Do you think is it like could you find it early when Nintendo announced these new bundles and everything as well? Do you think maybe yes, this is the window that 2024 is coming out?
I think they're just gearing up for Black Friday.
Yeah. And if
like
they
that seems it's a perfect release window for it, right? When's Black Friday in the States?
November.
It's like
November.
November. It's their Thanksgiving.
And this comes out mid-October. Like these consoles, so they're out just in time for Black Friday. You get it on shelves everywhere, and then doors open on that day, and everybody's able to pick up a Nintendo Switch console at a discount, which is nice.
Well, I think adding to that, it also opens up the possibility of, okay, let's stock these shelves with these new bundles and everything, and then get rid of them to Marcel's point, by March or something of next year when we can start, this is our last like hurrah of here are new variants, new skins and everything. And they also have the Mario skin. So let's stock shelves with those, get rid of them, and then Switch 2 enters the fold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even then, like there's a lot of stuff Nintendo kind of has set up for us to expect, right? Like the Untitled Princess Peach game isn't coming out this year. Like,
right.
They have to roll out that software. They have to roll out Metroid Prime 4, I'm assuming, at some point. Hopefully next year. But it's got to at least be on Switch because that's the platform they announced it for. So if they're going to transition,
does it have to be though?
It could be on both, but like it kind of has to at least release on it because then it's like. I just feel like they would see that through. I don't think that they would just be like, never mind, Switch owners, like next gen, like owners get it. I don't think because it was a selling point for them.
It was, but I also think that it depends on how bad, in rough shape that game was over time to the point where maybe they had to like re-engine it to be like, okay, drop it, build it from the ground up and let's target just next gen hardware.
Well, even the Prime remaster to me would indicate that they're building up to it on that platform.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think that they're kind of like piecemealing it like they did with Pikmin, like they did with all these other IPs that's a good point. I think it's going to happen. So that's why I would assume it won't release in March. I would think back half of next year if it were to release, just based on some of the titles that we know and play and some of the ones that I would assume could be announced in the future.
Yeah, because of Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, right.
Like that's right.
We're thinking of at least 3 games that need to come out on current hardware before we get to that. So it's not. So I don't see it like 2 of those dropping in January, 1 in February, and then new hardware in March. Like I think it's like a holiday thing.
Unless they're really banking on Princess Peach being a system seller and doing them.
I hope it is
a crossover game. It could be a crossover system game.
Could be. It could be a Breath of the Wild situation.
That's right.
Well, that's the one thing because in the report as well, it's like it's backward compatible, and I hope it's backward compatible because I want it to be. But also for Mario Bros. Wonder's sake, like I feel like you're not giving it like an IP, a game like that has legs, right? I don't think you can cut it out, like the legs out from under it by, giving it a year on the shelf, and that's like too bad, new console, like. Like it just then it's just like that evergreen presence of a release like that is just gone. So
Zelda
I hope
as well.
Yeah,
as
right.
well,
Zelda, which is also not getting DLC apparently.
Yeah.
Zelda
Which is a red flag for me, because now it's like, why? Why you guys introduce what, motorcycle horse for the last game, and now all of a sudden you're too good for DLC? Like,
it's gonna be spaceship, everything's space.
Yeah, you build your own station, build your own Walmart in Zelda.
I would do it. Yeah. Well, they had like aliens and stuff in the concept for Breath of the Wild. That was one of the concepts. They had like aliens invading Hyrule.
So really? I didn't even remember that. Huh. I mean, Majora's Mask did it first, but just saying.
All that stuff, like I don't know, like to like the no DLC, like maybe they're saving it for a port of like an upscaled port with new features or something, like stuff for that for Zelda. Like I don't know, like I think there's a lot they could do, but like to be honest, I just have no clue what their play is or when it would be really, like except for based on what Bloomberg's saying or suggesting and stuff like that, and I think a lot of people are kind of talking about it, but I think all we're going to hear are stuff from like devs that allegedly have it and kind of getting out through the cracks, because I remember when the Series X was announced, like nobody knew that was happening. There were like 4 people on the planet that knew that was happening. So they're going to be very tight-lipped, and they're going to be very strategic about when that news drops and how.
Yeah. Do you think a Direct's happening next week?
I hope. We're due for. I mean, how many times have we had a September Direct? Like 8 years in a row.
Yeah, I think
something like that.
Was it last year or the year before was the only year that they kind of skipped?
And it was that was a partner Direct, right?
Right. Yeah. But there was like there was a pandemic year where Nintendo didn't do a proper Direct, and it was kind of weird. But it was pandemic. But so no, I'm which kind of leads to my the point of whether or not Switch 2 would come out in like the early next year. It just seems like the timing of it kind of seems off, because if they do a Direct in September leading into the holidays, you don't really have that time to kind of like start stirring up excitement for the console. Granted, I think what they did, the reveal of the original Switch in January.
Yeah, and then 2 months later, it was here.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's still possible, but it just seems like right now we're getting so much Nintendo news that it almost feels like they don't have time to kind of like pump the brakes, talk about new hardware, get it out. It kind of feels like there's so much stacking up that to Riley's point, we're due for games to come out first before they're going to talk about hardware, which hopefully this Direct kind of goes over.
Yeah.
I just want to see more Super Mario RPG. Like that's all I really want. I cannot wait for that game.
Same.
I hope they have Amiibo. I hope they go all out with it.
I think they're repurposing the Ace Attorney series too for, well, not just Switch, but I think they're doing it for like a bunch of the modern platforms as well.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Well, there was also that leak about Beyond Good and Evil, the 20th anniversary.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That was I guess they discovered that it's supposed to be revealed sometime like next week or sometime in September. So if they want a Switch version that would kind of align with a Direct, show it there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tokyo Game Show's also on the 21st, so the following week. So most likely they might just announce some stuff and be like, all right, and try majority of these things at Tokyo Game Show or something like that,
Yeah.
So it could be that as well. I'm gonna be that one guy. I'm gonna be like, I think the Switch 2 is coming out in March, and this is just confirming it's gonna be all backwards compatible. I'm gonna be that guy. So I'm gonna be that one fanboy and say,
I hope so.
What's it gonna launch?
I hope you're right.
What do you think it'll launch with? What will be the big launch game?
100%
Princess Peach is my number one.
I thought we already discussed that, Riley.
That's the launch game.
Yeah. What? It
I don't
comes
know
and the Switch 2 comes in pink as well. Come on.
Imagine.
Honestly, I'm this close to buying a light because I like the colors better, but I know I'm gonna want to Switch 2, so I'm like, I need to hold out.
Everyone hold strong. We don't need the
Mario
red Switch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't get fooled, okay? Don't get fooled.
I know. It's odd because when you started thinking about, okay, what's the launch game? What's the tentpole launch game? It feels weird to, kind of sunset the original Switch with a 2D Mario and then come out with Odyssey 2 or something for the new Switch.
Yeah.
To do back-to-back Marios feels weird. Can't do Zelda. Does Donkey Kong have that selling power? I don't know. Maybe.
It would have to be something special if they were
Of
going to
course.
do that.
Like,
Kirby's already gone. Yoshi's not it.
Would Prime 4 not be considered as a launch game?
That's what I'm thinking.
Or-
Yeah.
I think
It could
like-
be. I mean, what did they launch the OLED with? Dread?
Yes.
That was
that's
so
right.
it's not,
Yeah.
that's definitely a possibility.
I firmly believe like Prime 4 will be a Switch 2 launch, maybe even exclusive. Because
Exclusive, I don't think exclusive,
I don't
but
know
I
if
think
it's
I
exclusive,
think you're
yeah.
onto something. I think you're onto something. Like it's got to. It'll at least
It might have
be
some, like,
featured
enhancements
somehow,
or
right? I would.
something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It will take your picture and it puts you as Samus or something like that.
Oh,
you
just
know?
in the
It's
reflection?
just a reflection, just your eyes, So
Yeah, that's what I think. And I think they have like a lot of surprises for us too, leading up to whenever they're ready to launch their new hardware. Like, there's still some legs on Switch.
Oh, of course. I don't think they'll stop supporting it.
No. What if our good friend Jeff announces it?
Jeff Keighley at the Game Awards.
Just pulls all of his,
I'm not. I'm maybe,
his
but
sneakers.
Nintendo
There
has
you go.
not been. They haven't really been revealing things through Jeff Keighley's initiatives lately.
They haven't done anything for a while with
been
Jeff.
very
since
hands-off with
since
Jeff.
Smash Brothers.
Since Smash, I was going to say, yeah.
With Sephiroth, I believe, right?
That sounds right.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
that was
Yeah.
cool.
When
Did
he
Sephiroth
killed-
and
That was the
Joker.
pandemic year. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, when he killed Mario or whatever.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
Pretty brutal.
I wish we had Smash back.
Same.
It's like the one
Right?
thing I want. Like all the Nintendo Directs are always fun, and I always look forward to them. And with Mario RPG in this, like I'll look forward to seeing that. But I just miss Smash Brothers reveals. I just feel like they hit so hard, and it was so exciting.
Yeah.
The internet was always like exploding with like excitement over them. Like I really wish that they would continue like DLC support for that game.
Dude, that's
they do a new
the
one on
wish.
Switch too.
Yeah, they could do a deluxe
Or-
version or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Ultimate Deluxe New Fighter Pass 3.
Yeah.
I'd
let's
lose
do
my
it.
mind.
Switch
Get Gino
to-
in there finally. Like
Switch to
do it up.
exclusive. Yeah.
Skullkid, please, and thank you.
Yeah.
All we need is more Grinch theories. That's what the industry is missing right now.
Absolutely.
Like, that was
People
such a
losing the
special.
mind. Oh, I love it. I love that stuff. I love the speculation of it. I don't like the toxicity of it
No.
because people are like,
No.
"Oh no, like Rayman needs to get in over Crash
Yeah.
Bandicoot," which is
Right.
like, who cares? But it's like speculating and being excited. Like people get so amped about Smash Brothers reveals. Like I really wish we could go back to that era, or at least like see a return to it if they decided to, hey Sakurai, DLC support worked well for you. Wasn't extremely heavy like workload. Like, would you like to do another pass or two? And then we'll continue it onto the new hardware or something like that. Like that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty excited about that.
I think he'd be quicker to accept that than because he doesn't want to let go of Smash Brothers. Let's be honest here. And I know it's supposed to be like a new protege, but whoever that person, they're not ready yet.
And he's even admitted that.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like that I don't have a protege. Like we tried to do that, it didn't work out. So
Yeah.
and he's said like how much he's liked working on it and would like to continue working on it in some of his video essays and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I think that if he were to return like a deluxe port of Ultimate and just build the roster out, like all the parties seem to be very happy. Like
Yeah.
third parties aren't even involved. They're being like, yeah, like I want my character in this game so bad. Like so just keep going with it. See how high you can build the tower. Like I think it's because the next Smash, once you inevitably get to the next entry in that series, it just won't be
the same,
it can't be the same roster. It won't be like we might have a different director. Like these things, like just build that out as much as you can, and then when it's time, like send it off, and people will be happy. I think that's probably
so.
the alternative.
And we need at least 4, maybe 5 more Sakurai Presents. Those are just a hoot to
So
watch.
fun.
With him
The
fighting
level
with
of
himself,
detail.
with like the controller and everything. I'm like, how are you doing this? He's
Yeah,
fighting.
two
I'm like-
controllers at the same time. Okay.
Right? He's just casually, oh, this is how I practice. This is how I test out a map and everything. I'm like, you are a madman, but I would like, I just want to sit with you for a day and just pick your brain.
Just shake his hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it'd be wild. And I find that even with Smash, it didn't really get like a fair, like not fair chance, but like the whole online part was practically, it was very unplayable. And like if they could figure it out with this one, then I'd be like, okay, Smash Ultimate now feels complete, proper online, whatever, like tournament boards, whatever you want, like just make it like as smooth as possible. I found that didn't give that game that much of longevity because everyone's expecting it to run smooth with online play and everything. So.
Yeah, I hope. I would love to see that if they refine maybe do rollback net code for like improved online in an Ultimate Deluxe or something like that, and really flesh that out in a meaningful way with like leaderboards and tournament options and all this stuff. Like, I think it could be cool. Yeah. And it's exciting. Like, and I don't think you really have to do much to what's already present outside of before you have to sell another pass to upsell on it. Like, I think people will pay for an upgrade to core mechanics and stuff like that. Maybe throw in another fighter, a couple Echo fighters, and then sell a new season pass. And I think people will be right there.
So
I hope anyway.
Besides Gino, who else do you want in there?
I want Master Chief.
Oh, big time.
You need Master Chief in there. Like, Microsoft's very willing to collaborate lately. Like, he's showing up in Fall Guys, Fortnite. He's
Rainbow
in
Six.
Yeah, that got leaked. He's in the Ubisoft fighting game, platform fighter, Brawlhalla.
Oh, Brawlhalla.
Yeah, he's in that. I could see it.
There's something else, wasn't there? But yeah.
Minecraft. I mean, he's like Master Chief is already across like 4 different titles on Switch. Like, he's available and playable on those. So it's like, just put him in Smash though.
Yeah.
I want to see like Sans from Undertale. Or
that'd be good. Yeah.
Wow.
I love that they have Megalovania in there already. Like the song, they added the song in the deluxe Mii costume in there. I was like, this is sick. Actually, this is really cool.
I would love Skull Kid. I think selfishly that one would be a hoot to play as. But Master Chief is definitely in my top 3 with a bullet for sure.
Well, what will be Skull Kid's ultimate?
Bring the moon down.
The moon.
Yeah. I was gonna be the guy who like, I want the moon as a playable character. It's just so goofy.
Sure.
Just like
it's like a spirit bomb. Sweet.
Get out of the way. I'm winning this. Like.
You could go on and on about characters that should be in it, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like Master Chief Final Smash, like he's hauling the Covenant bomb off the back of the ship, and then he just goes through space. Yeah, that would be perfect.
Yeah,
Warhog as an item in the game as well. Just like drifting across people, that'd be nice. Yeah, that'd be. Cool.
Energy sword mixed with like the AR or something.
Oh yeah, you could rocket jump as his recovery. Like it would be. You could go really deep with it.
You could, You could throw it back to like the old like plasma grenade jumps from Halo 2 if you really wanted to get nerdy with it.
It would be cool, and you could have like his shield could prevent knockback for the first hit or something like that. Like it would be really neat the way they could implement that character meaningfully.
Or even if they really wanted to lean into like Halo Infinite, use the grapple hook.
Yeah, that's a great recovery too. Yeah.
He has many items to get like a flush out like fighting like list or something like that. Like a fight like the whole playlist for him. Like he has the grapple hook. She has his own shield and everything. Bombs. Like there's enough there to make something out of him there.
It'd be easy. Yeah.
And also, we're going like very technical into this, but like on the roster, I don't think that there is a long range heavy. In the same way that Master Chief would be, right?
Mm-hmm. Like K. Rool kind of has some range, but he's more of a rush. He's like a range rush down. Like he's set up into like to close counter, so it's not quite the same.
And then Ganondorf is probably the closest in terms of like heavy set weight, but he's close range the entire time. Just saying,
he's so perfect. Like Master Chief, Crash Bandicoot. I think Rayman would be neat.
Yeah.
Waluigi is probably due. Gino, like you could go on and on and on.
See, the best thing to do was just release a whole new fighter pass. Ignore Waluigi yet again.
But you know what? Save them for
Just
the
don't,
last.
just don't service that fandom whatsoever. I wish that Nintendo would just triple down at this point and just say, no, we can't do Waluigi for technical
like
reasons.
a Waluigi pinball stage, but no Waluigi.
Yeah.
Like,
Just, you know what? If anything, put them like last, like the last fighter to come out. And then, like, by default, be like, Waluigi killed Smash Brothers because he was the last.
And then just take the servers off the next day.
Yeah, reboot everything. Yeah.
that's like,
here you go. We'll toss them as for free or whatever, and then rip the servers down, take the game offline the next day.
Anytime I think about Waluigi and Smash, I flash back to that Washington Post article, and it's just the stuffy of Waluigi laying in a puddle. It's like the funniest thing I've ever seen. I remember asking Andrew Collins at Nintendo about it, and he's like, well, to be honest with you, like, really great British guy. He's like, to be honest with you, Riley, like, it's pretty funny. And I'm like, yeah, like, it really is, though. Like, it is pretty funny. So I hope he gets in eventually, just because I think that would be actually hilarious if he got in at this point. But Master Chief, Crash Bandicoot, Rayman, Gino, get it done. Get after it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Throw in a Fall Guy in there. Why not?
Just a little bean guy?
Little bean guy. Yeah.
He'd be a perfect, like, me costume or something like that.
Oh, that's a great call,
That's true.
Jonesy from Fortnite. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It just goes on and on. You could do whatever you want.
might as well just throw in Goku like everyone's been asking for the whole time.
No, that breaks the rules.
That's what I said. He's an anime show. Get out of here. He's not the same, you know?
The video game characters. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. That's wild. All right, so we're gonna be talking about the video games SAG Strike that might be potentially hitting video games. I didn't read up on this. I don't know if any of you have or anything, or anyone wants to take lead on this, but yeah, what's going on with this right now? This is kind of crazy.
They are aimed to vote, and like if they do vote, it will be, you know, all the screen actors, all the stuntmen, stuff like that. I don't think it would affect the gaming industry big, you know, now for games that are coming out like end of the year, Q1 of next year. But for games, say like Activision was like number one on that list of like striking companies. So like all the Overwatch lines for the only thing that they're selling can't get new ones for all of their events, stuff like that. But like I think it makes sense. I think in any case, like voice actors are actors, so they should be included in all these things. They want 11% retrograde, and then they want 4% first year and 4% second year. Yeah. And I think it makes sense because it's a scary world that AI is taking over so much. So like they're trying to preserve their jobs for the future. And I think like that's fair. But then I see both sides, because like if you're a small indie developer and like all you need is like an AI tool to help you like build out your game, I'd be like, sure. But for all the AAAs, 100%, they should be paying all their people fair wages.
I would say honestly for indie games, they should still get like a voice actor, someone who's brand new or something like that, like get their feet wet and everything. Like, I mean, AI has helped me write up like YouTube descriptions and everything. So I see it a bit of AI, but then like I also understand, like I wouldn't want AI to take take someone's jobs away. Like no one's doing my job to write like a YouTube description. Like, but when it affects people's it can affect people's jobs, then I'm like,
their livelihood.
Unplug it. Yeah.
And I think we're getting to that like ethical point where like, are we going too far? And like that's like the scary part of it.
Yeah, it's weird because we're still in the very early stages of it, so we're not feeling impacted by it quite yet. But things will shift pretty drastically as the technology keeps getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
But I totally get the stance of the union there. So I mean, I'm very curious to see how this shapes games and who ends up being impacted, and if this creates a bigger drive to non-union members for video game inclusion. Like, I'm very curious to see how it all shakes out long term.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously I'm in to support all the voice actors and everything against, you know, major corporations, because right now we're talking about, you know, the early stages, the advent of all this AI technology. And unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of big companies abuse them right off the hop because there's no regulations in place. And I think that's the big hurdle right now, is kind of getting to the point where you have almost like organizations kind of step in and say, okay, we're talking about the efficacies of all of this. Have an organization step in and be like, okay, if you're going to use AI, it cannot affect jobs. It can do this versus that. And we really need to start getting to that point really quickly. Anecdotally speaking, and not that it correlates to voice actors, but when I was at EA in Vancouver just a couple weeks ago, they were kind of talking about, we're again in the advent of working with artificial intelligence by and use of just like helping the studio kind of do more with the tight annual constrictions that they have, getting out an NHL game year by year. To their fair credit, it doesn't sound like anything that they're kind of looking to introduce would affect jobs. It might actually, incentivize, it might actually get them to bring on more people because they're introducing more work and taking, a lot of being able to, like, so for instance, create non-player models faster. So for like the crowds and stuff like that, which is good. But that being said, again, that can easily open the door to now we're replacing artists, now we're replacing voice actors, now we're doing all of this stuff. So, I mean, I want to believe them that everything's on the up and up and intends to stay that way in the future. But again, you are looking at, we're looking at this report. Activision and EA were two of the ones that were specifically mentioned. So, I want the union members to get their dues and everything and get protection. I think that's the biggest part of all of this. But then just to get to a place where all of this can be regulated, so we don't have to kind of worry about, okay, what are jobs looking like 5 years down the line? Who's going to be affected by this very scary beast that is artificial intelligence? Because even as a writer, I'm definitely terrified.
ChatGPT, 100%.
Oh my God.
Absolutely. Like, and computers were always meant to assist us, like, and
not replace us.
Not replace us. We have many movies that have foretold this story and everything like that. Terminator,
Blade Runner,
Blade Runner, stuff like that. And
Months.
like, I feel that if you're taking away like someone's job, like one thing that stuck out in my mind is what's that show that just came out, Invasion, where the whole intro was AI generated. That could have been someone else's job making the whole intro there. Obviously, it could have been a lot cleaner as well, because that was like one thing people were like, this is very ugly and everything like that. But the fact that they're like, no, we're gonna go along with it because it costs cheaper, or or whatever reason they may have given. Let's be honest, it was cheaper for them to do that.
It fit thematically, is what they said.
Yeah, so thematically cheaper. So
Yeah.
So like that could have easily been done, like especially with Disney, you have so many animators from generations who, like, their fathers drew, then now their sons drew, or their daughters are drawing there now because their parents drew, and like now you're just like, all right, well, we don't need them anymore. Like,
right.
I don't know.
It sets a bad precedence for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the scariest point, and I'm pretty sure we actually talked about this offline at some point. But when you look at fiction and storytelling, like Terminator and stuff like that, AI was always like the boogeyman of like taking over humanity. But in no point did we actually think, oh, AI is going to be be able to replicate creative stuff right off the hop, and we just allowed them to make movies, make songs. Like the moment that they're able to replicate what should be like an intrinsic human thing, that's the moment that we should be like, this is bad.
Unplug it.
They're
now.
able to replicate artwork. This is, oh no.
Exactly.
They got to do the boring stuff. They got to do math and calculations. leave the cool stuff out of it.
I always wondered too, like the unpredictable thing is there's always like a human backlash to emerging tech or stuff like this. Like, I wonder how many people will start boycotting products that are built with stuff like that, because I think there will be consumer backlash at some point, because like it's impacting consumers.
Yeah.
I would say when like you see like employment rate like reach like double digits, of course, depending on like where what area you're in as well, but like right now everyone's everyone's using it for their homework, and then that whole generation is not going to learn anything. They already don't even know how to write right now, to be honest. To be really political about it, and like now soon they won't even know how to like do basic like mathematical stuff without entering it into a computer or ask AI to be like, hey, can you do this for me? And like, like AI would be like, why? Because I'm going to be doing anything anyway for you anyway. Like, why are you learning this? And they're like, yeah, you're right, AI. I shouldn't be learning this.
We're all gonna end up like Wall-E.
Fist bump, So.
It's just gonna get to the point where we're Wall-E and like we're not even moving and like just robots are doing everything. And that's scary.
Yeah, you go to ChatGPT, you're like, hey guy, can you just do a podcast with Marcel and all our friends? Then just upload it to YouTube, do the SEO too, and then it just does it.
It probably will have the episode done already,
Yeah.
like 5 minutes right now.
Yeah.
Instantly with different voices and everything. It can even use our voices that we said enough here.
No.
I think I'm going to stop talking right now. Yeah,
I'm sure there's enough of like our individual voices online that they could just like pull from it and just be like, okay, here's robot Riley.
Yeah.
Let's hear about the latest Walmart deals of the week. And
I've got a scary story. Like I know someone who got a call from someone pretending to be like their daughter or something, and they had recorded all her voice and were talking to her as her voice.
Yep.
It's like, hey, I need help. I need you to send me money. So it's already happening.
Oh my God.
There's a bunch of scam calls happening right now where they call you and like they try to get you to say certain things so they have your voice, and then they could like hack into like, oh, Scotiabank voice recognition system, you've passed through. What do you need? So like I don't answer any calls anymore. I'm just like, leave me a voicemail.
That's fair.
But that's when you just start answering phone calls.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Bonjour. Steve's French now. Oh my God. This changes everything.
Wow.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Hopefully they, like I said, I want the writers and even for creative people, I want them to be protected and, I don't know. It's just wild that now this is our world now where AI is just like sitting there in the background like, hey, I'm gonna take over soon. Don't worry. Waiting for the moment to strike, So
Caboose is going to be losing his mind right now.
what happened?
What happened?
Breaking news.
Mortal Kombat just announced Megan Fox as Nytera.
Oh
Wow.
She's my first girl crush. Fun fact. I love Megan Fox.
That's a good one to have.
That's a good one to have. That's a good one. That's not bad.
Transformers. That's
what did it for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Changing the oil and everything. Yeah.
Oh sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there she is.
There she is. I see it. Yeah.
Damn. All right.
That's kind of cool.
A little breaking.
They always have a celebrity in there, right? Like last one was Ronda Rousey. So
right. And I mean, Megan Fox was doing promotions for Diablo and now Mortal Kombat. She's in the gaming world. She's one of us.
World. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Well, she understands her audience.
Old dork.
Yeah.
Isn't she in the next Expendables movie too? I think I just watched a trailer with
her. With 50 Cent.
Wait.
Yeah.
There's another one?
Of course there is.
And the fourth one in the series.
How are they so expendable? They're so old. It's like almost pushing 80 right now. Like the same way how this is My Big Fat Greek Wedding, the third one. I didn't know there's a second one.
There's this.
The third one coming out this week.
Is news to me.
I saw the third one. I saw the post for him. Like, what?
Third one. I'm like, the third one? What the? All right. So I don't know. AI generated coming soon.
Mm-hmm. How was your PAX, by the way, Marcel?
Yeah, we should move on to PAX West and Nintendo Live. Camille's not here. I think Nintendo just took her away. I didn't see her at all for the whole weekend. She was madly busy, rightly so, making a lot of great content and everything. PAX is really cool. It was in 2 buildings. I snuck into Nintendo. They had no idea. They actually let me in. Mario Wonder was there as well. Big surprise. Didn't expect that.
Did you play it?
I did. I had a chance to try it out.
What'd you think?
It is absolutely it's wonderful, I should say.
Yeah.
It's really it's really cool. They have like this badge system. I don't know if any of you saw the direct that came out last week, but everything there was playable. They gave us like 15 minutes to play. There's different like depth of field. So like if the Wonder, like if you grab like a Wonder Seal at one point, you will end up like a lot closer to the screen, and like everything in the background will change. Like there's like different like layers of like depth of field with it. The elephant is absolutely amazing as well. You can just use your trunk and flick stuff, or you just like shoot out water with it as well.
Cool.
The badge systems are really cool to add some extra nice little perks. Who would have thought Mario had a perk system now? Where you're like, oh, you want to
It's
jump
like Call
higher?
of Duty.
Yeah, like Call of Duty. You want to have a little jump higher? Just wear a badge before that. You want to add more coins in it. You could do that as well. It was really cool. It's like it plays like the others, to be honest, but like it's a really really good time. And it's very chaotic, especially when you have 4 people and then there's like a million bulls rushing you and everything. You're like, where's everybody? And like people are just like taking damage from everywhere. Yoshi and Nabbit, they don't take any damage, of course. I think Nabbit even like collects like the coins if he's nearby. He has like a little magnetic thing on him or something.
Right.
Like that. So those are like, if people who don't know how to play any video games, they can play those characters if they wish. Like it's a good diverse options, and there's also different color Yoshis as well. And Toad and Toadette. It was really really cool. I must say, it was a really fun experience, and I can't wait for it. It was a really fun game, and really well animated as well. Like how like I thought that was part of the whole like trailer where like Mario went to the pipe and he's like looking around like, no, it's like part of the game, and like even the enemies react. Like I had this poor guy, he shot something at me. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm coming after. He's like, oh no, and he starts like running away from you, like freaking. It's so well animated. It's like even if you shoot a shell at him, he takes off running. He's like, oh my god, you shot that back at me? Okay, now I'm out. Like, he's crying and everything. Like even the Goombas react me ready to stop them. They're like, oh no, like a whole like it's like it's very very expressive, and I can't wait to play it. I don't know if there's online with it. There's rumors of that, or there might be like
we saw an online
or
component, right? Like we saw like
the shadows
or whatever,
the ghosts, right?
Which are pretty cool.
Okay.
I'm curious, does Yoshi turn into an elephant or no?
Yoshi elephant. Yoshi is just like your little sibling mode, basically. Like
so
no
Yoshi can only give elephants rides. He doesn't get to turn into
He does give elephant
one.
rides though. Yes, that is very very
cool.
hilarious to see. So
Just breaks his back every single time.
Yeah, exactly. And then yes, you can also jump off of him as an elephant and just like launch him down if you want. So But it was really cool to play. Everyone was really excited, and overall the whole like Nintendo Live part of it, they had like their own little theme parks, and like they had the Mario van there from the movie as well.
Very cool.
They had the orchestra there that was hosted by Victor Lucas actually.
Yeah.
I saw him on Monday, and he was out there making content, and they had like photos you want to take. They had a massive Lego piece. I think it was like 20 feet tall of Bowser.
Bowser, right? Yeah, I saw the picture.
I wish you could stand in front of him, like he'll be chasing you and everything. And they had like a lot of great props for like from Legend of Zelda. The sword was all like destroyed and everything, and the Zelda statue there from previous packs is there as well. Tom Nook was there. I almost jumped him because I'm like, you made me do all this work, Tom Nook, for nothing, for bells, your fake money, So
was it a statue or is like a guy in a costume?
A guy in a costume, and I could take him. But Isabel was there, so I was a little worried after that. So they had a lot of merch there as well, and and like a bunch of tournaments as well. So Nintendo Live was really cool. I love to see them like take this like on tour to like other places as well for people to try their games and everything. Especially I think it would do really well for like a holiday season tour if they just like, oh, let's just bring this here to a mall or something, or like something near
Eaton Center or something. That'd be dope.
Yeah. I don't know if they're gonna bring that out here. So I don't think it's not a rough. People still go to malls?
Sometimes. Or a nice boba tea or something,
Yeah. Let's bring it to a Walmart though. What are you talking about? Let's bring it to our.
Yeah.
What's the
Some
biggest?
malls have a Walmart.
What's the biggest Walmart in Toronto?
I don't know, man. I'm not in there measuring them.
You don't have the schematics?
You don't have this? What are you talking about? Trying to strike
a
deal for you here.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I genuinely don't know. I feel like there are a few, but they're usually in plazas.
Fair enough.
Kind of like on the outskirts, more so. And then some of the ones in the malls are like a bit smaller.
Yeah.
One at Dufferin Mall's pretty big.
Dufferin Mall,
yeah. Pretty big, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Woodbridge
true.
are pretty massive too.
Yeah. I also stopped by the Square Enix booth as well. They had a massive statue of
Gino?
No, Gino. Sorry, Sally. Nothing Gino related was there. They had Star Ocean there playable. Fantastic, like remake of the game. I don't know if any of you guys like Star Ocean, but they even had like the concept art for them. Like, I think it's like a remake they're doing with that game. They had Foam Stars as well, which is a game I'm really intrigued because I love Splatoon. And as soon as I saw that game, I was like, well, this is like a Splatoon ripoff. It's a Splatoon-esque game, and I think a lot of people would be surprised by that game because it's really, really good. Where you don't have to focus on covering with all the foam on the floor to win. You actually like shoot at people, and you have to like foam them up. You have to foam them up, and then you have to kick them out of bounds and everything like that. So it's a whole different way of playing. I don't know if it's gonna be like different mode. That was just one mode we played, but it was quite interesting. And each character has their own unique ability. Where like in Splatoon, like depending on you actually pick which perk or which ultimate you want. This one's like it's like per person and everything. So yeah, overall,
I saw you had like a Minecraft room. It was like a real life Minecraft room, and that looked really dope.
That wasn't at PAX. That was at the
yeah. You got a little tour from Aaron, right?
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could show at the building because everything else that they show me, they're like no pictures. I'm like, okay, all right.
Chill, please.
What's that?
Don't put me in Xbox jail.
Yeah, but what's that? You know, yeah. Don't throw me through that portal, please. You know, so yeah. What about Sega was there with Yakuza and Persona 3 as well was there. And,
cool.
No Sonic Superstars. A little surprised by that. So I think that would have been like a nice game to like kind of counteract Mario Wonder maybe a little bit.
It wasn't present at the show?
Nothing was there. Yeah. They had the Mario game, or I can't remember the name of it, but
Samba de Migo.
Yeah, they had that there, but they didn't have no Sonic Superstars. I was a little surprised by that. And then the Prince of Persia game was there as well. Fae Farm, which is a Canadian base as well. That they were there.
So excited.
Five Nights Freddy's had a big booth as well for their
the movie's coming out.
Right? The movie.
I think a movie, and I think it was a game related as well. And
it always seems like there's a new game in that series. Like every month, I feel like a new one comes out.
I'm pretty sure it's Josh Hutcherson who's like the main actor in it this time around.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't get behind that series, and I'm sure last time I said that, someone yelled at me. Somebody yelled at again for that, but it's just not for me. I don't know. I can't. The cheap jump scares are like that's just nothing. I just can yell at you guys, be like, "Oh hey, Steven," and blah, and you're like, "Whoa."
Oh my god!
Like you know, like that just I don't know.
Steve.
I want you like to mess with my mind and stuff like that. Which, by the way, they had this game called I had to find the name of it, but it was like a '90s style by Square Enix that they didn't even talk about, to be honest. And like it's very like Clock Tower-ish a little bit. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I had to find a name for you guys for that one. But yeah, besides that, it was really cool. It was in 2 buildings this year instead of being in 1 building. Tekken 8 was there if people want to try out. Baldur's Gate had a massive one as well, and they had like a little like bar system they had there, but everyone was just hanging out there.
Baldur's Gate.
That's sick.
I think it could be a Game of the Year contender.
I was about to say that. I was about to say Baldur's Gate might be Game of the Year, especially with how like diverse the whole environment is, and that's why someone brought up the comparison with Starfield in that game, how like even just people like NPCs, just how much detail they had to them compared to Starfield and everything. So
I checked Facebook the other day, and like people who don't play video games are just like, yeah, I played Baldur's Gate all weekend. And I'm like, oh shit, this thing is big.
Yeah. I really think that Baldur's Gate has the best chance at beating Zelda for Game of the Year at this point. And
so I think it's tied on Metacritic score-wise.
Yeah.
So it seems like it has a really strong chance. I mean, it's the game that made Phil Spencer break Xbox parity.
Yeah.
So
huge. And I mean, I'll go on record now that I think that it will end up being Game of the Year, just because to your point, it feels like it's the one game this year that kind of broke through the industry, like the bubble.
Yep.
And got people like outside of it just to be like, oh, what is this game? Not necessarily that they're going to pick it up, but to get people interested in a D&D style video game is not an easy thing to do. So to kind of like break into the mainstream, that's Game of the Year status.
Absolutely.
It's so good. I have like 60 hours in the game, but I've had it for like years. Like
right.
Alpha. And now I think they also announced the next Divinity, right? So like we're gonna get another game.
Oh,
that's in the
really?
world.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's gonna be good.
Wow. That studio is rolling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good for them.
By the way, that 90s clock tower-ish game by Square is called Little Goody Two Shoes, as princessy as it can be called, but it was really, really cool, and it definitely adds to like the old school 90s style of like a clock tower like scary game. So
Cool. I like that.
yeah. Besides that, Prince of Persia was there. It was all played on the Switch. They had like nothing was like PC or Xbox or PlayStation. They were all running the Switch version on that game. So
Did you play it?
no, I just watched it.
How did it look? Because like from the trailers, it looks
good.
pretty dope.
Yeah, it looks really good. Yeah, I don't know last time when you saw it, was it Switch build or no?
Well, when I saw it, when's the last time I saw it? Actually, it was just like the Gamescom. Well, wasn't it at Summer? Oh, it was just Summer Game Fest. Yeah. I didn't think they were specific on like what console the gameplay was from.
Yeah. Yeah, besides that, it was overall a good show, I would say. So hopefully a Canadian version happens or something. I don't know.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Imagine.
We need something out there, you know. Something.
Yeah. Fan Expo was fun, but
yeah, not
something
like gaming
very gaming specific.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you say there was a bar at the
Baldur's Gate
had
like, I believe they had they were set up as a bar,
like a tavern.
Like a tavern, yeah. They had like a whole booth there for that. So
with like real beer and stuff?
I cannot confirm or deny.
Okay.
I don't think so. No.
I know someone was like dressed up as a mind flayer. I saw like a picture of the guy taking a selfie, and that was really
that's
funny.
cool.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I was so intrigued about when they were talking about bringing back E3. Is one of the big ideas they had was at the center of the show floor was going to be like a gamer bar. And they'd have specialty cocktails and stuff like that. And I was like,
great idea.
That's a fun idea. Like,
God.
if you're going to open it up to consumers and stuff, I mean, within reason, like you have to moderate it pretty heavily. Yeah. But I think it would be really neat to do something like that. If you have a little zone like that, people can have a beer, go play, the new Sonic game or something like that after. I don't know. I like that sort of idea. I do wish we had something like that in Canada. It really would be just crucial, I think.
I remember when Arcane came out, Riot had like an Activision of like the underground, and they had the final drop or whatever the bar is called there. And I'm just like, this should exist all the time in real life, because like it's such a dope thing. It'd be like Stormcrow Manor times 3,000, and I feel like Toronto needs one of those.
Yeah.
Speaking about Arcane, did they just announce season 2?
Season 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
They did.
Next year.
Happened during PAX as well, and I think also Final Fantasy 16 they announced some stuff at PAX
DLC, right?
Yeah, DLC and a PC port.
Which the PC we knew that was a thing already, but like because the first stuff they were showing, it mentioned PC and PS5. It was meant to come.
Yeah, but didn't they like immediately roll that back and they're like, never mind.
Yeah. I think Sony's like, no, it's for us only first. Like it was originally. That's why I'm like, I'm not surprised, because you literally have a trailer saying this is the PC gameplay of the game. I don't know. So I'm waiting for that game to come on the PC, so to try it out, see how crazy it will be. But yeah, and then that's pretty much it. Really, it was a lot of games that we've seen and they were announced. The one like I said that shocked me was Mario Wonder. I had no idea that was going to be there. And Invisible was there as well. Another that's if you want like a mysterious, like you just throw on a planet, trying to figure out what happened here. That is definitely a game to look out for. The Invisible. I think you played a demo of that on Steam right now. So it's like a good healthy like hour demo as well. It's like,
oh wow,
yeah, you're just like you're on it's kind of like a Subnautica, but like you're just thrown on this planet. You're like, what happened here? Why is this person dead? Why is this thing trying to kill me? Type of thing, So definitely look out for that one. I think that one's by 11-bit Studio actually. So yeah, and overall it was a solid show. So
awesome. Yeah, so glad you had a good time.
Yeah, it was really, really productive weekend. Just meetings and meetings, and people are like, "Come out to this party." I'm like, "But I have a meeting at 9, so I don't want to go out.
Maybe after.
Maybe after. Yeah, I'll just stay up. I don't know. So
I think just seeing that, I'm like, I want to go to PAX now.
Same.
I
They're
really want to go
so
to Seattle. Like, and all the like Nintendo's there, Microsoft's there.
yeah,
It seems like the perfect hub because everybody would be there.
yeah,
Because why wouldn't you be? So maybe we can talk about that offline. We can
yeah.
find a way to go next year. That'd be fun.
Or let's just
That would
run.
be-
Let's just run our own. Let's just have one up here.
Let's
do
we
it.
have honestly, majority of the talent that are there are based out of Canada. Like I said, Faye Farm was there, and Brace Yourself Games was there as well. Like,
Oh, sure.
Like everyone is like someone has like a Canadian connection, and like this blows my mind. We don't have our very own gaming focus. We have a million anime ones, but no gaming ones. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like even like
A lot of the gaming ones we've had have always been short-lived.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
GameCon, we had GLX.
EGLX.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I feel for them. Like a lot of them try to get a foothold during the beginning of the pandemic, like right before the
Yes.
pandemic.
Yeah.
So after that, I was like, well, that's not happening for a few years. So after
was
that, it's like, well,
there was also the one, Riley, you remember the one we had to go all the way out to Mississauga for? What was that one called? Do you
Like
remember?
discount. They had like a discount fell off the back of the truck, like clothing sale next door.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where we went
that
and
was
saw
pretty
sandals and
I did
Crocs.
coverage for them.
You did, yeah.
That.
It, it was,
I do
it was
remember that. I forget what it was called.
almost like EGLX. It was like EGX or something. It was so close to it
Oh
that
yeah.
I always mix them up. And yeah, they had like a Gears tournament in the back, some sort of like military recruitment center.
Yeah.
Where they're like, yeah, just come take a picture in our RV. I was like, all right.
I love
And also
remembering.
sign up. 5
It's like
years.
any-
Let's go.
Any of like the brand new from the ground up like esports initiatives don't do well as like a backing for an expo usually. So I mean, if we could do it, we would have to do it way differently than that. But
Right.
and probably, hopefully in an area that wasn't,
Next to the airport.
Next to the
hour
airport,
away.
getting Crocs, So
Yeah, that was bizarre. Like just walking out and be like, oh yeah, there's just a shoe outlet.
yeah, that's wild. Yeah, I don't know. I like I said, we have like enough like studios to show off the floor and everything, and I'm sure Nintendo and Sony and they could pay
We
like
need a
a tenth.
PAX.
They could play a tenth of their budget, just to send them over there. Like honestly, we need to take a risk. We're very like I find the gaming industry here in Canada is very. They don't take any risks. They're just like, oh, we don't have the budget for it, and then they
Yeah.
put like half their budget in like I don't know, like the smallest like
Subway marketing
like a
or
Subway
something.
marketing or
Right,
something like
yeah.
that. Or
Yeah.
just give like here, just give this one creator like $20,000 just to announce this one game that they never heard of until you show them how much you're going to be paying them.
Right. And then they'll play it for 2 days
They
on
play for 2
stream and then
days, they'll be like, this
never
game
talk
sucks,
about it ever again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, or bash the game or something like that. So I don't know. I think it's about time that we need to have, even if it started off small, like because you just have to take a risk, and like
That's right.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Someone.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Walmart presents.
Yeah, imagine.
There you
Yeah,
go.
let me try to get some budget for that.
Yeah.
I also want to give a little shout out to Sea of Stars, who sold was it over 200,000 copies?
Yeah.
Huge.
Which is massive.
Great for a
especially the
Canadian game.
Yeah, especially the game is out on Game Pass and PlayStation Plus as well. To sell that much is ready on the first.
It's been a week.
It's only been a week. It's out, like it's crazy, and a lot of people call it might be like RPG Game of the Year actually. So, which I don't. I guess wouldn't Baldur's Gate be RPG or no? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
see,
would.
I feel
well,
bad
never
for
mind.
Sea of Stars. There's so much competition this year. Like it would be a no-brainer
Yeah.
if they came out any other year, but it's a tough year.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe Indie Game of the Year. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think indie game they're almost a shoo-in because this year has been so heavily focused on AAA games
Yeah.
that I don't like, other than maybe like Hi-Fi Rush, I can't really think off the top of my head which like indie. Well, Hi-Fi Rush isn't even indie. Never mind, take that off the table. But I don't know if there's been another like darling in terms of the indie game space.
That's wild that Hi-Fi Rush kicked off the year. I
Right?
completely forgot. I thought it was last year. That's crazy.
Shadow dropped, right?
Yeah. Like here it is.
There been
Have
some
fun.
really good Shadow drops this year. Prime Remaster, Hi-Fi Rush, Pikmin 1 and 2 collection dropped.
Quake 2 remaster. That was also a fun one.
Yeah.
That was a cool one.
That's a good YouTube video right there waiting to happen, Riley.
Mm.
Best shadow
There you
drop
go.
of this year so far. Thank you.
Yeah.
Gonna write that one.
Get on it.
What Sammy? What do you got going on for this week?
Just pre-planning for a gaming network. So if you are listening and not signed up to our newsletter, please do so. We release every Monday at 8 a.m. and it's great. All the gaming news in one email.
Yeah.
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Sorry for everyone in the other side, the West Coast. You get it at 6, so you know.
You get it earlier.
You get it earlier. You're welcome. You get it welcome. That's right, exactly. And then everyone in Japan, you get you get it tomorrow. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's also like the 1,000 Dream Fund as well that happening right now. So make sure you guys go right, or is it 1,000 Dream? Okay, 1,000 Dream.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's called specifically, I will look at this right now, the Broadcast Her Grant, where they're giving grants to women and femme-identifying creators who want to just like update their stations, go to conventions, do like esports training, kind of like anything gaming related that you may not be able to afford. They're doing grants for girls like that.
That's amazing.
Absolutely
great.
amazing. Yeah, I want to give a little special shout out for that. Steve, what do you got for us? Busy week.
Busy week. Leading into next week, I'm going to have a preview for Assassin's Creed Mirage, Forza Motorsport, and then I'll be away next week on a secret little mission. But I'm excited to report back.
All right. Really excited to hear about that.
Yeah. Just keep up with me all across the internet at Svigbari.
Mm-hmm. Riley, what you got for us?
Yeah, I guess I'll be busy on social this week with the launch of Starfield, so we'll be doing a lot there. We have an exclusive Switch console, which is great that we're going to be working with. And outside of that, it's battening down the hatches and getting ready for the fall release calendar because it is. I've never seen anything like it, to be honest. It is a lot. So lots to look forward to there.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to talk about in a future show if this is the greatest year for gaming for sure. Because I don't remember anything like this in my life. This is.
Yeah, like people bring up examples of some great years, and there's some fantastic games, but I think this is the best.
I
year.
guess, yeah.
Not even year, just like best like month and a half frame.
Yeah.
A
From
lot
like
of great
today
games.
on to the end of October, I would say is the best like window of gaming ever.
And there's still more to be announced. Like we're oh my god.
No more. We can't do anymore. We're to the point where other studios are just moving their games away. Alone in the Dark. It's just like, I'm out. See you later.
That's right.
Assassin's Creed is like, we'll push it even earlier to get out of the way from Spider-Man. Like,
you can play it now. Just play it now.
Just do it before you forget about it now. Please.
Yeah, I think Xbox nailed it with the Starfield release.
Big time, especially early access.
Early access, Labor Day weekend. That was one thing I got to mention when I went to go see them on Friday. I got the whole Halo tour as well. Museum, absolutely fantastic. But everyone was gone. It was like people when we went to go grab lunch. People were like, "You're gonna eat here?" Like it's 12 o'clock. Like everyone was gone for Starfield.
That's fun. I love that.
It was wild.
I love that.
There were probably like at least 6 people I saw the whole time there, including the guy that gave us a tour who waited to be like, I'm waiting to play Starfield, but I'm only doing this for you. I'm like, thank you, I guess. So like, he was like they gave permission slips to leave for Starfield and everything. It was pretty hilarious.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. For me, I'm gonna be playing some Starfield finally at last. And I had this code for the longest time, and now I can finally play it. Of course, as soon as I leave, they're like, "Oh, you know what? Here's your early access." I'm like, "Really? On the plane? Thank you." You know, so I waited all week for it, but I'm finally excited to dive in and see what everyone's talking about. So, and you guys got me extra excited. So
I'm excited to hear your thoughts. I really want to know what you think about it.
I honestly think we will be talking about more Starfield down the road, especially when we get everyone back as well. So
yeah,
you know, We were, you know, our backs are tired. We were carrying the crew here to this week. You know, so. My back. Need some icy hot, you know, from Shaq. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye, everyone.